Hey listener, it's your pal David here. Just letting you know Shonen Flop's taking a month break so we can enjoy the summer, but in the meanwhile, we're unlocking some of our favorite Patreon exclusive episodes. We hope you enjoy and can catch us September 15th with our full thoughts on Getaway Matsumoto 100 Day Escape. As always, you can catch us in the Shonen Flop Discord, which you can find in the show notes or on our site, shonenflop.com, where the conversation's always going on.
Hello, our wonderful patrons. Thank you for all of your support.
I'm David.
I'm Jordan.
In this episode, we're talking about Gundragon Sigma,
Whoa.
And we are joined by the legendary Casey Green. Casey Green, thank you so much for joining us again and being our winner for our favorite episode of the year.
Thank you for having me a second time to read the bad manga. My name is Casey. Probably know me from Gun Show, the old comic Gun Show. Meme This Is Fine. Currently, I'm doing a comic called Greachers.
Yeah.
That I'm really enjoying. That's about it for me.
That's awesome.
Greachers.com, baby.
Hell yeah. I know we talked a little bit about what you would do for shonen manga, but I am curious, Casey, what would you say is the single biggest influence that like a manga has had on your work, if any?
I gotta say Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, because reading the original manga of both of those made me realize how much Toriyama was just sort of making it up as he went and putting things he liked to in it, just putting things he liked and wanted to see in there. He traded it kind of like Dr. Slump with more of a story. It was very just like, oh, weight has been lifted off of me of worrying if I'm doing this or that wrong with comics and stuff. I was like, no, Akira Toriyama, a man who changed the world with this fucking comic, you know?
Yeah.
He was just fucking around.
Yeah, and I have to say, Casey, you were definitely a distinctive part of my childhood, so I look up to you. So I very much appreciate all the fantastic work that you have done.
Appreciate that.
I'm going to go binge Greachers after this.
Oh.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, Greachers.
Okay, great. Just imagine after all that, I fuck up saying what the name of your comic is.
You'll always be the dick butt guy.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean that in the best way possible.
Well, I don't take it in the best way possible.
You always take the dick butt in the best way possible.
Yeah. David, kill Jordan later.
Yeah. So okay. we actually have a PR person who has told us the episodes do substantially better when Jordan and I are actively hostile towards each other during a recording.
All right.
Isn't that right, you useless piece of shit?
Oh, fuck you. Yeah.
Yeah, I love you too. Anyway, let's get into the manga details.
So this is Gundragon Sigma. It was created by the late, great Buichi Terasawa, who created Space Adventure Cobra. Apparently died in 2023. By the way, Space Adventure Cobra, huge fucking deal in Japan.
And France.
That makes sense.
There's like multiple directors, so like I really want to make a Space Director Cobra, but for some reason no one will give me money to do so.
I'm not shocked to hear that. But yeah, Terasawa, pioneer of adopting digital technologies. He used digital coloring in fucking 1985. And this is not his first fully CG manga. He had previously done something called Takaru in 1992. That's right, listener, this manga is fully CG!
Yeah.
Save for one character.
Yeah,
save for one character! Terasawa was also an assistant under Osamu Tezuka, who you might have heard of. He was apparently initially rejected for the role for having too different of a style, but Tezuka apparently liked him and hired him later, just like Zakk Wylde. And Gundragon Sigma ran from January 1999 to May 1999. 3 chapters, 1 volume. Apparently got a sequel in 2004. Yeah, I guess that's only 5 years later. I don't know why you'd make a sequel to this, but apparently there needed to be a sequel.
Casey, are you rushing to go read the sequel now that you know it exists?
Well, I was looking for it. I was a little curious. I was like, okay, so there is more adventures with this photographic lady.
this photograph.
But I'll save it for later.
Yeah. And then, please continue, Jordan.
That's all the...
Oh, sorry, I forgot that was the last. Sorry, I forgot that was the last note I had. That was it. Sorry, I'm used to more. Indies Islands also had some really interesting facts. I'm also going to share. The series was published in full color as part of the magazine serialization. It was always in the middle, probably due to the printing process behind it. And the series it replaced was Pitbull Bullfighting by Adachi Toyoshi, which wasn't successful, and that author previously worked on Fighting Cock. And the series that replaced it was Boat Racing Girls. Indies also provided us a ton of really interesting backstory about the series and the author that I'm also going to make sure is included on the Patreon. Thank you. Yeah, my bad. Anyway, let's get into the manga plot.
So I also think it's worth bringing up that this is mostly fully CG, save for our main lady, Sigma, who is a...
Sigma female.
She's just an idol, I guess, for the time. So they took a lot of photos. It's a real lady butt shots.
So many butt shots.
Bad CGI elsewhere. But anyway, with the rise of illegal aliens, you probably thought I was talking about modern political issues, but we really mean illegal space aliens.
Whoa.
Japan has had to create its own additional island called Dejima.
Dojima, I think. It's named after that famous island where Japan and I think the Netherlands were able to connect, and that was like the only part where Westerners were allowed to interact with Japanese people.
Dojima.
I didn't know about that.
It's the name of the video game engine for Horizon Zero Dawn because it was built with Sony. And the people who make Horizon Zero Dawn are from the Netherlands.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, just like that real one, this Dojima was where aliens are allowed to dock and trade and do all that stuff. Sigma, our real hero, is a Gundragon, a type of cyberpunk immigration officer who does not wear pants.
Nope.
She's the only photographed real world person in a world of CGI. Real cool world type of vibes.
I was going to say, it reminds me of it has like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit effect almost, where it's like clearly everybody else almost feels like a cartoon.
After Case takes her to a gross alien bar, Sigma discovers a miniature black hole, which leads to a planet of mollusks that are trying to move to Earth because its ocean is drying up. So they want to steal our ocean.
They can't take our ocean?
Yeah.
That's our ocean.
She says to stop it. She stops them pretty good.
Yeah.
The main part is the black hole, which, because they're illegal, they can destroy planets. They're basically weapons of mass destruction. If they had that term, they would have said that.
Yeah.
And she jumps back through the hole after she stops them, at which point the devil tears her soul in half and makes an evil clone of her. That's exactly what happens. A devil who was not brought up at any point.
They never explain it at all.
Someone fucks with the black hole on her end, and it fucks with her, and there's two real world girls now.
I think it's implied that it's from a race of aliens that served as the devil from the Bible or something.
Implied, but never explained.
No, it's not.
Man, can you imagine some sort of wormhole technology where the devil lives? I've never heard about that idea in any sort of lore before.
Wasn't that where that's like the end of the black hole? The old Disney movie.
Oh, I was thinking just Warhammer, where chaos.
Oh, right. Yeah, that is Warhammer.
I've never played Warhammer.
Literally all the demons.
But check out Black Hole, Disney's weird sci-fi movie that ends with them going to hell.
That's how this episode's sponsor.
You know?
Oh, that's the one that's like shitty Star Wars.
Yeah, it's shitty Star Wars. It's not very good, but its ending is insane. Anyway, after she got cloned through the black hole, an alien group of ambassadors called the Seven Stars are yelling at one of the aliens named Ibsen for bringing in the illegal hole, which has now been stolen also. Ibsen is then killed by an alien made of electricity, and Sigma tries to figure out why. Popcorn Jordan.
So, have you guys gotten the impression that it was really fucking hard to figure out what happened in this manga?
It's almost like it had severe limitations of how it could visually represent things.
Yeah.
It's almost like it felt like a fucking mess. But anyway, that night she's attacked by the electricity alien, which jumps out of her neighbor's babysitter, which is a robot whose head is a TV. Sigma tracks her to an alien strip club where she says that the devil told her to kill that guy, and they fight, and Sigma wins. Sigma then watches security footage from the Seven Stars meeting where she sees her evil clone in the shadows and is like, what? There's two of me? What the fuck? The clone then delivers the mini black hole to one of the ambassadors named Wu, who is apparently evil. She knows that Wu is actually a little lizard parasite who feasts off the sexual energy of human women because they're so sexy. She also knows that he's been trafficking them to his home planet, and using the black hole will make that easier. The clone is like, why don't you show me how you steal the energy? And they basically have weird fusion sex, but he can't eat her quote-unquote ecstasy because she has the devil inside of her. Popcorn Dave.
Sigma attempts to break into the embassy to find the miniature black hole when she's attacked by Wu, who it's a pretty bad rape scene in this weird fusion way, but she doesn't die because she's strong, maybe. Sigma wakes up suspended over a pool of alien piranhas by Delva, who's a small-time crook she's dealt with before. She finds out he's killed some other Gundragons and turned them into statues before kicking him in the piranha pool and escaping. She finds Wu about to eat another woman's ecstasy and shoots him before jumping into a dimensional tunnel and confronting her clone who is hanging out with the devil. They fuse again, which means means that Sigma inherits her clone's love of the devil, but Sigma shoots him anyway. She reflects on how the devil is the species that kind of just wants to throw things into chaos for shits and giggles, but didn't count on her having love in her heart. And it's like, I don't know if everything Jordan wrote is how I viewed those events occurring, but I think his opinion is just as valid, and I couldn't tell you otherwise what happened in the series.
It's confusing because what she actually says is, because the idea is that, like, when she fuses back with the clone, it's like, well, you can't hurt the devil now because I, as the clone, fell in love with the devil, so now you're in love with the devil. The devil's like, you can't shoot me because you love me, but she's like, yeah, I do love you. I'm gonna shoot you anyway. And then she's just kind of like, man, it just didn't work on me. I don't know why. There's just something in me that made it not work. Maybe love. And it's just like, I don't know why that worked either, author. I don't.
Yeah. What an ass pull.
You're basically. Oh, speaking of ass pull.
I'm looking at what she says at the end. Sorry to stop at the ass pull, but as she's thinking about how she shot the devil anyway, I love the last two lines. There was something in my soul that was more important than love, but not even I know what that is. Not yet, anyway. The end. And we see her ass
one last time
on her CGI motorbike.
Yep.
Going away.
Oh god, yeah, listener, it cannot be overstated how much of this series is just
ass shots.
It's like easily 50% of the manga is just her ass.
Yeah.
She's not wearing much.
No.
Yeah. Casey, do you mind telling us about her wonderful personality?
I would if she had one.
Hey!
I don't think I've ever had a series where I just felt like maybe I should have left the character section blank, because there are no personalities for any of these characters. I don't think they even say Sigma is her name until like 40 pages in, and not like in like an artistic way. I think the author just forgot to introduce her.
Yeah.
She gives big, I just watched Ghost in the Shell vibes. What if you made the main character of Ghost in the Shell have like nothing interesting about her, even remote? Like, her character is that she's hot. That's it. Like, it's just like that she is a pinup model, and look at her ass. Like, that is...
Yeah, half of these are like pinup shots of like her in like a very revealing two-piece, you know, with a jacket over her.
They don't even try and make an excuse for why she wears that clothing as a police officer or whatever the hell a Gundragon is.
I mean, this is softcore porn.
It's really blatant, more so than in other shonen stuff, because it is just like, it's just pictures of this lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just excuses to show her ass for 50 pages a chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we get into why I failed to more formally talk about that? As Casey has a very accomplished offer that doesn't have to rely on ass shots to sell your material, what are some issues you had with this series?
I need to work on my...
figure drawing?
Yeah, I need to work on my figure drawing is all.
There we go.
It's hard to get a good ass going. But it doesn't work because like CG as CG to print is never going to work.
Yeah.
In the way this looks, it'll always look washed out, muted more than like, you know, it would on a computer screen when you're playing the video game this is taken from, you know, Deus Ex or whatever. It just doesn't work. I've seen people try to do like, it's the same with like when people do photo comics, which is different from this, but like a similar type of, you know, you're not actually making comics, you're making stuff and then putting comics over it later, which I don't know, it can work if you gave a shit about the comics work. And while I can follow most of the action and stuff, it just looks stupid. It just looks stupid. Yes. When she's fighting the egg-headed man who's smaller than her.
Oh, God.
It's dumb as hell. When one touches the other, whether it be for fighting or grabbing or whatever, it's just stupid. And that's why this shit never worked.
It's really bad. And like, here's the thing, like, assuming that photo comics and CGI could be good, which, you know what, I believe that there is a way to make it work, even if I've never seen somebody actually make them work. You have to pick one. You can't just do both, which is what this tries to do, which...
Because it also makes your CGI look terrible.
That's the thing. It's like, you jump from a photograph of a real human woman to a 90s fucking poser model.
Yeah.
Like, shit that is, like, imagine jumping to a PS1 FMV.
Well, they had those. They had, like, Command & Conquer and stuff where you'd be playing a video game and then it would be real footage.
Yeah, but, like, that's a video game.
And that's digitally on a digital object where you're watching them interact. These are scans, I'm guessing, of the old. Not to give away how we're reading this.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing these are scans of the one volume. Was this actually brought into English?
I'm trying to think because the translation was pretty decent. It wasn't perfect, but it was pretty respectable. So it might have been professionally done.
It's hard to tell. I also think that the colors are sometimes so fucking busy that, like, it's genuinely hard to figure out what the fuck is even happening in a lot of this stuff. And
it's just, it has no cohesive visual language. And I'm sure they did that on purpose because they wanted to be like, isn't this cool? She's a real hot lady in a sexy cyberpunk scary future.
Yeah.
And that's what kids want. And then, years later, we go, no, we didn't.
No.
It sucks. Why'd you give us this?
Yeah, it's also like the fact that everything feels so low energy because you can't have in low budget CGI, you don't have squash and stretch, because that's a fuck ton of additional work for a CG model. And also the paneling is perhaps the laziest paneling I've ever seen, where every panel is a square or rectangle.
That's because they can't do anything fun with it because it's not a comic. They're not like, I saw at the end of this, they showed storyboards and shit that they were working on, but it's otherwise, it's not actually thought of as a comic. It's just giving us the basic definition of sequential narrative without actually doing anything interesting with it.
Yeah. But the storyboarding thing was insane because the specific language that they use at the end was, we made this storyboard. It was basically a finished comic. All needed to happen was to be inked, but we didn't do that. We just did this. And it's like, you have a comic.
Yeah.
You made the comic.
This is just a classic case of just gotta try and see if it sucks or not. And there's your answer. There's your fucking answer.
It's really bad.
You also can't really tell what's going on. Like, I had to read that twice to see she killed a guy by throwing a playing card because they don't have the composition or lighting to highlight things to draw your eye. So you have to look at the entire panel at once. And like, as we talked about how important Akira Toriyama, he was the king of drawing your eye with his panels, which you literally cannot do anything deliberate with CGI because it's such a restrictive medium, especially in 1999.
Yeah.
The colors end up being so oversaturated and dark. Like, you can't really have light colors because they really didn't know how to do like accurate shadows back then. And so as a result, everything is just so fucking saturated. Every single page so vibrant that it makes everything just seem dull. And
that's from going from digital to print because it's simply not the same colors.
Yeah.
Digital of shit we see on our phones or computer screens and shit. There's bright colors, whereas on paper and shit, no, we have to add the color in. See, like from RGB to CMYK. So it's just going to be washed out when it's printed like that. And then on top of that, it was scanned back in by someone
It's true.
who wanted to just show off the stupid comic and their translation skills, I guess. And I don't know, they probably did the basic brightness, contrast, fixing up, but nothing that makes it look any better.
Yeah, I would be curious, like, even now, it's so hard to find good CGI comics. Like, you would need to do, like, a level TLC, like the Spider-Verse, where no one's gonna fucking do that because it's just easier to draw something.
Yeah.
The exception is the myriad of Shonen Jump manga that use black and white models meant to simulate drawn character, where it's like you have to sometimes you have to look closely to figure out that it's a CG. You usually can. I mean, if you know what you're looking for.
Yeah, I can think of two examples of it. A guy who did Dead Demons DDDD.
Oh, that's a great series.
He doesn't do 3D models, but he does take pictures of the backgrounds and then brings those pictures in, contrasts them, and then adds more ink and shadows and stuff like that to them. But that's not 3D models. But Go Tanabe, who does a lot of H.P. Lovecraft adaptations, he actually does do what you were saying. He like after a while of reading his stuff, which is good. I like Go Tanabe's work because he does use 3D models to do these, to I guess set up the characters and the towns and stuff. But he also goes over it with his own pen and just gives it that touch. But you can still kind of tell once in a while. And I'm like, that's interesting. And he's doing it well because it's all really nice, really crisp, black and white artwork.
Dawn to Dawn does it all the time, but the artist really knows how to properly use a 3D model as a time saving rather than a cheapening out.
Yeah.
I also want to say, because of the fact that everything has to be modeled, it also means you can't really have a lot of dynamic changes. You can't have a character exist just for a scene because that's hours or days of work to create this character. You have to have a very small cast of people that can show up, which further limits the creativeness of this series because you only have so many models you can actually create and use. And the author is not good enough to be creative with that limitation action in a fun way.
I feel like a lot happens in this manga, but it's like so confusing.
Well, they have to verbally explain everything they're doing because you cannot tell based on the art.
Yeah, but also the setting is so complicated. Again, this just feels like shitty Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
Like, it's trying to have, like, political intrigue, but it's too complicated to follow and not laid out well at all when I'm looking at a panel and trying to figure out if that's a guy's face or not.
My favorite bits about manga, from Toriyama to Miura to anyone else, is how much they take time within each page to show you, like, one or two things happen. It gives them more time to make a fun action pose or fun something like that. There's not that here, save for like one or two, splash pages or whatever. A lot of the times it does come off feeling more American in some way.
Yeah.
Like a Marvel or DC book. And that's just boring. You're right. It is completely boring. Like, I'm going through the second volume, I guess, the second chapter, and just being like, yeah, it's just fucking boring. It looks like a webcomic.
It's just fucking boring. That's a great way of putting it. But I think for the interest of time, shall we move into the 5 things that did well?
Yeah.
So I would say strip out the live action because it really makes the CGI look awful. At first I was like, whoa, where the fuck did they get this model? And I was like, oh, that's a person. Or I guess go all in and make it like 50-50. I think having only one human character just really makes all the things rather than it's feeling like a stylistic choice. Where I think it was probably maybe a cost saving thing as well, but it's still like, dog, this was not the way to do it.
I think that there are some panels where the composition is like pretty cool, where I'm like, okay, that looks like visually interesting. Like, there were many panels where I'm like, this might look cool if like it was drawn.
Yeah, I have to agree. And it is cool how at least it shows lots of kind of little aliens. The intrigue feels cool, how each of these aliens have like their own little culture or quirks. I don't know if a rape alien species was a great idea, but
yeah.
At least they were like, they tried to justify why it's an ecstasy absorbing and why Satan's there in the portals, and it didn't make a lot of sense, but at least the author was trying, I think.
You die as you come, David.
I don't know what to do with that
They
statement.
like humans because human women are the hottest.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that humans are my favorite species.
You say one or the other when it comes to like, should it be all photo, should it be all CG? No, it should have just been a comic. Like, I've never seen a good photo comic either.
Casey, is there something that you've actually unironically enjoyed about the series?
Probably the joke when she took that book from the little teen.
Yeah.
And it looked like a physics books, but when she opened it up, it was actually a book's disguised, and the book says "How to Sex."
Yeah, it was a porn book.
Yeah, and
She's like,
she just fucking like face palms jokingly, and then that's it. That's the end of that.
Oh, you.
And of course, since it's the future, there's a hologram of two people having sex.
Yeah, man, he was enjoying the hell out of that kid.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you're only 13 months.
I also didn't hate like the intrigue of the overall story. Like, as I was going through it, because it's only 3 chapters and all that stuff, I was like, there's something could be interesting here if it was handled better, and it was not handled well at all.
No, it wasn't.
No.
Yeah, it also goes quick. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's only 1 volume.
Yeah, quick
3
read.
chapters is the absolute longest I think a series like this should have been.
I will say, if this was a normal length, it would be a fucking slog. Like, it went quick because it was short, but not because it was paced well or went by quickly. It's just there wasn't much of a thing.
Yeah. You can only make 150 pages so long.
Yeah, of comics.
Yeah, that's true. All right, but shall we talk about where it could have gone?
Okay.
So, Casey, what would you say is something you would have done to revise the series?
Get the guy to draw it.
That's the thing, he did. This is like what drives me insane. He did draw it. He literally says it just needed to be inked.
Well, then hire an inker.
Just ink it. Like,
God, Casey's gonna go yell at this dude's grave.
He's already dead. It's fine.
yeah, we already won.
I guess it could have been more like cyberpunk stories. Like, this was very Shonen-like, and even though it ended after 3 chapters, she won, she saved the day, and there's always room for more, illegal alien activities.
Yeah.
Illegal space alien activities, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like the thing of like the mollusk aliens are here because their ocean sucks, and so we're gonna take your ocean.
That was
that was kind of thrown away pretty quickly.
Yeah, they forgot about that plot element.
No, she fixed it.
That was the most interesting part, because it was kind of just like, oh yeah, she's just kind of doing her job.
Yeah.
Her police work job, which is like somewhat interesting. That was like the only time where I feel like you got a little bit of her character, where she's like Judge Dredd about the law, where they're like, but it takes 7 years for us to get there. She's like, well, then I'll fucking see you in 7 years, man.
Yeah, and then they also have, like, there are other Gundragons that they talk about, they mention, and then they're all dead and turned into statues by chapter 3. We don't even see the other Gundragons.
It's like Chameleon Jail, where this guy is a fucking chameleon, or what was it called?
Oh, he was a risk taker?
Yeah, and he's the only one who ever shows up in the entire series.
Yeah. By the way, Casey, his name is Chameleon Jail because he can change his face and he takes people to jail.
Gotcha.
Also, fun fact, he constantly is showing his actual face despite being a shapeshifter.
Well, he's breaking rule number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he morphs himself by using his chi energy to make tiny explosions happen all over his body.
Yeah. Well, Casey Green could just do that.
That's fine, and it's easy to do.
Yeah.
And, like, that's fun, but, like, you don't get that sense of fun. You get this sense of, like, we're making something too cool that may be too important, that they just sort of let the rest kind of drop off the side. Because they were like, well, this CG is going to take a while. I got to get that guy's egghead just right.
Yeah.
God, it looks so bad.
He's an egg. He looks like a fucking Zippy the Pinhead.
It looks so shitty.
But back on topic, I think a good format would have been her just being the alien of the week and helping solve their problem and maybe helping fix their world.
It was 1999. What if they just made a fucking FMV game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just make an FMV game,
This would have been
okay?
more interesting as a goofy FMV game.
Yeah.
But then we wouldn't have been able to cover it with you.
That's true.
That was the best part of this.
All right.
But yeah, this manga just looks really bad. I don't know. It looks bad. It's hard to read. It's very confusing. Like,
No, we're in the wrong section.
where it could have gone. Okay, FMV game, make it into some shitty movie. Like, I don't feel like there's any realm where this works wonderfully.
Yeah, it's too restrictive on your storytelling.
Yeah, why don't you just take pinup photos of this girl in, like, sci-fi clothes and just release them as, like, a pinup book? That's what you want to do, clearly. Why don't you just do that? Like,
I mean, you guys were showing me other stuff, not to get too ahead, but, like, didn't they do that with, like, the same actress or the same idol, I guess, and, like, did more?
Yeah, she did some more softcore porn.
Comic stuff. Just like softcore erotica, essentially. You know, not really porn. Like, she wasn't naked in this at all. She got a really good look at her ass.
many. Yeah.
Many good looks.
Should we get into miscellaneous thoughts? I feel like we're starting to get... So, Jordan, what's something that you feel like, God, we have not been on track at all this episode because this is a weird-ass comment. What is something you feel like you haven't had a chance to say yet?
Man, she just really throws that fucking card really hard, kills that dude with it.
Yeah, which you barely can tell.
Yeah, she kills a guy by throwing a card at his fucking throat. Why are they called Gundragons?
We'll never know.
It's because it's cool, I guess.
Yeah, it's just cool.
Sounds like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Gundragon Sigma sounds a lot like the name of a Yu-Gi-Oh! card.
Gundragon Sigma, it does. Jesus Christ. This series had vampires energy.
Vampires, yeah. Casey, do you recall
Oh,
Vampires?
that Canadian show. Yes.
It is not Canadian. It seems Canadian. It is not Canadian.
Something about vampire cars has Canadian aura.
Yes, I've seen episode 1 of.
I interviewed one of the actors, which means that I know more about the series than maybe anybody who hasn't worked on the show. Because nobody's done any journalism on it, because nobody gives a fuck about it.
Jordan, there may be some real problems that journalists need to do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like figuring out stuff about anyway. Jesus Christ, this series, though, it's just like... No, it's like you got shitty CGI, you got real people interacting with the shitty CGI. It's very hard to follow. A lot of vampires energy.
That's fair. Also, why is the bounty $10,000 if this is set in the future? That's like, shouldn't it be like $100,000 if this is in the future or whatever?
Did they give the direct year of when this was? I feel like they said it was
set
like...
in 2005.
Also, it's Japan, so like...
Can you imagine if it was in 2005? That'd be such a great wink at how stupid they knew the series was.
I feel like I remember them saying it was like 2030, or like, you know, that's technically the future, but it's like, that's not. It is. In like chapter 1 somewhere it says in 1 FC parentheses 2030 AD, whatever FC means, I don't fucking know.
Future century.
Could be.
Imagine calling your century that you're currently in the future century.
Yep.
I feel my favorite, and I forget what series it was, but it said set in the year 2000X.
Mega Man?
No, Mega Man's, isn't it 2000XX?
It's like 1919XX. A lot of manga does that. Just 2000X, 20XX.
And just a single X. It's like sometime in the next 6 to 8 years this is going to occur.
1990X.
I want to say the first Mega Man initially took place in 2000X, and then they changed it to 20X.
Oh, you might be right then.
But yeah, it's Jesus Christ.
There's actually a show on Broadway that Denzel Washington is in, and it's like Othello, but it's set in the year 2028, and everyone's like, they just say that at the start, and then it's never relevant that it's set in the future for some reason. And people are like, it's just very confusing why they just say that at the start of the show.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah, it's true.
No, this is gonna happen in 5 years. God.
2028?
No, this series. Gundragon Sigma.
Yeah, it is, because it's 2030.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Casey, did you have any other miscellaneous thoughts?
I don't know. When I could follow the action, I thought there was some interesting stuff to it. But again, when I say could, because that stuff, just the mix of Photoshop, CGI, all that shit is just, I had to like read like a couple scenes a couple times to be like, how did she get up there? She kind of pulleyed herself up there by the weight of that robot or did something else.
I liked how she chewed gum and then used the gum to inflate and turn into like a helium balloon.
Oh yeah, that was very goofy, like cyber anime, like Gunsmith Cats or something like that, or Dirty Pair. You know, like she had a lot of goofy gadgets she didn't really use that often.
Yeah, it was like Toon Force. Like, oh man, I'm gonna blow a bubble with this gum, and it's like a real balloon that I'm gonna fucking float with. Like, it felt, believe it or not, something in this manga felt out of place.
Somehow.
Yeah.
I also gotta say, though, that the author of this definitely would have fucked heavily with AI art.
Oh, God.
If he had been alive. He died just a year too soon to have fucked around with AI art.
Oh,
it's like Andy Warhol would have loved that shit, too.
Yeah.
Oh God, Andy Warhol would have loved that shit. Yeah.
Also, speaking of things I love, Maxie V has some notes. In a 2003 interview, Araki revealed that the Cool Shock BT's initials were taken from Terasawa. Author Araki has since said it really wasn't that specific, so he has retconned his own statement.
Classic.
That is Araki.
Yes.
You know?
Araki and Terasawa do seem to be fans of each other, though. Araki having contributed to a magazine celebrating Space Adventure Cobra, his most famous work, and Terasawa in turn writing a 2-page essay about how cool Bao is. Which we have covered on the show.
Oh, is that an Araki or old one?
That's pre-JoJo Araki.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's like old. So is Cool Shock BT. Sigma is played by Ying Ling of Joy Toy, aka Yan Yingling, a model, singer, race queen, motorsports model, and professional wrestler.
Yeah, she's a pro wrestler.
She done it all.
She's cool, having done provocative photo shoots with the other half of Joy Toy, photographer, a name I'm not going to try and say, both in the political sense and the other sense.
Ooh.
Her wrestling name was Yingling the Erotic Terrorist.
That's pretty good.
That is such a more interesting concept for a manga, though.
They should have just made that the series.
They should have just made it about her as the erotic terrorist.
And apparently she has Yakuza connections, and they still cast her as a character in a Yakuza game. Cool. And then the end of the last chapter, as I talked about, has a bunch of production details, so if you want to find those out, you're welcome to read it. This is a short read, so you can kind of suffer through it with us if you want. It was in like a weird magazine called Super Jump that ran sequels to Jump series for old businessmen who like couldn't let go, as well as a new series by the authors of old Jump series and the odd original. It was replaced by Grand Jump, Jump's current business person manga magazine, which is very similar but aims for businessmen and women this time to much greater effect.
Wait, they're going for women? What the fuck?
So there's Shonen Jump, which is for kids, young male kids, and the Grand Jump is their more adult line.
They're grandpas. They're grandparents.
I don't know why it's not Sending Jump, which is
grandparents, business people, and business women.
Yeah. We're going to see a lot of men ass in the sequel. All right, anyway, shall we get into final verdict?
Mm-hmm.
Casey, do you want to kick things off?
Sure. 6-word summary. She stole book, how to sex.
Fucking love it. Mine was, looks at ass, looks like ass. Oh fuck, that is fake you. Casey, since you were on, I knew I had to bring my A game, the A standing for ass. Jordan, how about you? What is yours?
I just read it, sorry.
More like ghost in the shit.
Fucking hell. All right, anyway, I would say this is a certified flop. I think this is actually, unlike Cyber Blue, this is bad enough it's just bad.
This is just very bad.
What do you think, Casey?
It's pretty floppy. I didn't like hate it, but I was just kind of going through it pretty quickly of like, yeah.
So Casey's saying normal flop. Jordan, are you with me with certified flop?
This is certified.
I wouldn't certify it, but I'll still stand on the same side with you guys. But yeah, it's a flop.
You haven't been where we've been, Casey. You haven't seen how deep the barrel goes.
Very true.
So
very, very true.
I respect that.
Yeah. All right. So, Jordan, what do you think someone should read instead of this?
Watch Ghost in the Shell.
There we go.
Just watch Ghost in the Shell, because it seems like it's really eating the lunch of the major in that one.
I do want to, for me, I actually thought of a last minute where, have you guys heard of the webcomic Concerned?
No.
It is a Gary's Mod webcomic, and maybe the only funny video game screenshot comic ever created.
Oh boy.
I won't spoil anything, but it's
Do Sprite comics count as video game screenshots?
I feel like it doesn't. I feel like that's like a loophole, right? Because it's produced two-dimensional art.
All right. But it's a screenshot of a Nintendo game.
Yeah, that's true. But usually Sprite comics actually have because it's not like they're taking screenshots. They usually are manipulating the sprites, which lets you do things like have intentional composition in a way.
True.
So I feel like 8-Bit Theater, I would say, is like a proper webcomic,
Yeah. All right. I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah, that's the recommendation. 8-Bit Theater, everybody.
Fuck, yeah, I haven't thought about 8-Bit Theater in a long time.
Jeez.
Is the website still up for that?
Let's find out.
I don't know.
Because I remember getting the book version of it that they did.
I read his Nuclear Power.
It's still up. Oh, and it has a completely different art style. Oh, geez.
It's actual art, so there you go.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I know he's doing like Atomic Robo still, but he released a book of 8-Bit Theater that is just the scripts, and it's like a huge tome of a book. I remember getting it and being like, God damn, this thing's crazy.
Nice. So I also, though, wanted to plug 2 manga that I think Casey Green might actually enjoy, where have we discussed Nick and Lever?
Nick and Lever is great.
No, I've not. I've heard of the second one you're about to say.
Okay, but you've heard of Bug Ego.
Yes.
Which is by one, which is also, so if you have you read Bug Ego?
Yeah, there's only like 3 or so chapters of it, right?
There's like 7 now. It comes out monthly.
I haven't in a while, but I've read like 2 or 3 chapters. That is a wild one. I hope that comes out over here legally at some point.
I think if you like Bug Ego reminds me a lot of Nick and Lever, and it's just a really fun series where it has perhaps the most Toon Force I've ever seen in a manga.
Also, Casey, Bug Ego is on the official Shonen Jump app, so it is here.
Oh, no shit?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't checked the Shonen app in a while. Oh shit, there it is. Hell yes. Thank you for telling me.
We've just made Casey Green's day in real time.
Yes, you did, actually. I love Bug Ego. So weird. I love it. I love One.
One is so good.
He's such an interesting guy.
I was initially kind of disappointed that he's not doing the art for this, but the artist they got instead is so fucking good that
the guy who's doing it, Kyoto Shitara, he knocks it out of the park. It's so fascinating.
He's amazing.
We also have had both the official translator and letterer on the show, which is really cool. So shout out to Jan and Finkay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I will now have to desperately find a really funny Nick and Lever comic to send you to get your thoughts on.
I'm looking at just the cover of these 2 nice men giving me big smiles, and I'm like, okay, I'm down. I'll read some more.
I feel it has a ton of Perry Bible Fellowship energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're a hot and crazy foreign duo who will face any obstacle.
Yeah.
That's what this says.
Yeah.
That is accurate, yeah.
All right, anyway, let's get into the sign-off. Casey, this is a total blast. Thank you so much for coming back and, of course, being on our episode of the year. Where can people get the maximum amount of Casey Green in their life?
Well, I kind of moved a lot of my my older stuff to I hope easier to remember website, kcgportfolio.site.
Oh, you had quite an unusual URL for your original site, right?
Yeah, it's caseygreen.com.com. It was kind of funny, but it's not that cute nowadays. Yeah. So I tried to just kind of make it nicer. I was going to turn caseygreen.com.com into like a different whatever site. kcgportfolio.site. That'll show you all my previous work. But if you want to get the most, go to greechers.com. It's a comic I'm enjoying doing. It updates when it updates. I don't have any schedule for it, but I'm making it all the time. I just finished strip 1.
Oh, that is amazing.
Whoa.
Yeah, and as always, your work, Gun Show, Anime Club are all big parts of my childhood. I'm sure Jordan's no different.
100%. Yeah.
Thank you for saying so.
I would have to say, have you ever made like a comic and you're like, oh, this is going to like be a meme and it turned out? Or it's like, it's a surprise when that happened?
It's a surprise. You can't ever guess that.
So you didn't think like This Is Fine is going to be like,
no.
Okay.
Like you can try all you want, but you never know what people are going to latch onto, you know? And trying to second guess that is going to ruin the fun you're going to have making a comic, you know?
That's
you
fair.
don't want to force it.
Yeah. Don't force.
Yeah.
It'll happen with or without you.
Yeah. Fair enough. And I also want to say, Jordan, thank you so much for being a great co-host and helping with editing.
Thank you for everything that you do on the show, David.
Props to the Illuminati for the awesome cover art. Jordan, anything you want to toss in?
Check out Mission Ignition.
Sounds good to me. All right. Well, patrons, thank you again for making this episode possible. We always love a chance to have some of our favorite guests back on. And God, this was a series we wouldn't have probably covered otherwise.
Nope.
And with that, I want to say bye.
Bye.
Bye.